their own, right? And there's a lot more flexibility with Part 61 because as long as you get those things done, they don't really care what order. I mean, there is an order, right? You can't dive into some things until you're ready and you have some sort of foundational knowledge to do that. But you know, if you can switch things up, there's a little bit more flexibility with the curriculum, right? So for instance, let me give you a really, really great example. And this is a really good example of a pro. Okay, my connection kind of went there. So this would definitely be a tip as a pro for a Part 61 school. So this is what happens to quite a lot of students is that they get stuck at the solo, right? Like because you got to wait for the right weather, the wind's got to be just right. So some people wait on their solo. So here's what I see happen to students in a Part 141 course, and we'll talk about that. But when they're in those more regimented courses, you have to go by the course curriculum. There's no deviation. So you're stuck at that stage. You really can't move forward. You can't even talk about the things ahead of you, technically. I mean, you can be reading about them and looking them up in other ways, but according to how they have to document their course, and I'll explain why that's, you know, so rigid in 141 but not 61. So you're just stuck. You're stuck there. And I've seen people wait 2-3 weeks to solo and they're not doing anything. They're grounded and they're studying. So I would say that's kind of a disadvantage at a 141 school. Let me tell you what you can do at a 61 school. If you're sitting there and you're that student that, you know, is waiting to solo, but it's not your day, right? But the weather is still great. It might just be a little too windy for you to do a solo. You don't have to miss a flying day. You know why? Because you and your instructor have the flexibility and ability to do a different lesson. Maybe you can't solo that day, but they're like, hey, come on, let's go out and move you forward and start working on your cross-country stuff. You know, let's go do some maneuvers for that or whatever. You can progress because it's your instructor's decision if you're up to that task, and a lot of people are. There isn't any reason you can't solo at the end of your course. You don't have to do it right in the beginning. You can move on and you can bypass that and do all the other things and do the solo at the end. That's the advantage of flying Part 61, is you have all the flexibility that you want, whatever you can take on and you're ready for, right? So you're sitting there waiting on your solo, you and your instructor and talk about, well, what can we do together since I can't fly the solo? You're in a 141 program. Here's the difference, right? Is that you're stuck there and there is a required stage check as part of the course for you to move forward. So until you do that solo and all those things, you're stuck right there and you can't do anything else.